So 10 ways to be more attractive. I don't mean in terms of attractivism to attract it. I'm talking about attractive to attract opportunities, to attract people in your life that will help create more success in your life. The first thing is confidence. The more confidence you have, the more people believe in what you have to say. And I think a lot of the times when people, they seem a little bit unsure, they seem very doubtful, it doesn't instill confidence. Confidence is having absolute certainty in the things that you do. For me, I'm always thinking about creating success in my life, but in lots of different areas, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, and also your health, because your health really is your wealth. The second thing is grooming and styling. It's funny because a friend of mine said to me, John, you're very heterosexual. I said, what do you mean? It's like you get your nails done and you go for a pedicure, manicure. And actually, I didn't think of it like that. I just thought, okay, well, if I go to these places, for example, I do this a lot when I'm in Asia with my wife, my daughter. My daughter's like, oh, Daddy, I want to get my nails done. So, okay, well, I'll get my nails done as well. But I just thought it's a normal thing to do to be just well groomed and get a haircut, have a shave if you can grow stubble, but just appear clean. When you appear clean, when you got that styling and grooming, it makes a big difference. A big part of what I always think about looking your best, it's kind of like if you are with people and you don't present yourself in the best light. I mean, like when you go on a date, you wear your best clothes, you wash your hair, you do your hair, you put your makeup on and things like that. I think a lot of the time, people don't invest that time to do it. It doesn't require that much time. Just take like a day in a week or half a day in a week and just focus on yourself and have that self-care. The third one is fitness. You want to become more attractive. Attractive is really becoming about energy. When you have more energy, you become more attractive. You have this aura. How many times you walked into a room and then there's people that suck the energy out of the room, and how many times you walk into a room where people, they put life into the room? Well, it's all about having the right fitness regime to give you the energy. For example, if you struggle to work out, you should have a low goal, medium goal, high goal. The high goal is go to the gym, go swimming, do strength training, do sprint sessions. If you can't do that, maybe just do some of these. Maybe it's just go for a walk. I love to go for walks. Why? Because when you're walking and thinking at the same time, you start to develop better ideas. That's just what I found. If you ever done sales calls before and you get up and you start walking back and forward, that's what you start to realize. When I go for walks or when you go for runs or just having a strength training session is really important. Things like hot sauna, cold plunges, these make a massive impact. If you ever get anxiety in your life or you feel scared or things happen, you know what? Jump into a cold plunge, it will completely reset your entire central nervous system. Number 4, have good posture. So the problem is a lot of us on the phone like this, right? Problem is the neck comes down like this and then you start to slouch. I find myself doing this as well. Have a good posture, shoulders back. How you stand, how you walk also feeds into the first thing that we talked about, is confidence. If you want more confidence in your life, you want to make sure that you are becoming the best version of you. How you feel determines how you'll come across. If you're happier, guess what? You're going to come across a lot more confident and people want to be around you. But there's people that I always want to hang around, not just because I want to just talk about nonsense. It's just like when you're around them, you just have a good feeling, so good posture. And by the way, my doctor taught me, Dr. Shimani, he's incredible. He said, if you want to create a strong back, if you do the pulling motions like this, that type of machine works really well. Focus on your posture. If you notice yourself slouching, I do it a lot as well. Just notice yourself. Number 5, be positive. I think this is the biggest one that creates a lot of attractiveness. Again, I'm not talking about attractive as in like, okay, you want to get a lot of this. I'm talking about attractive when you just attract great people into your life. You attract the right people into your life. You attract the right opportunity in your life. You've got to be positive. And there's a lot of things that happen in people's lives that may be detrimental, that may not be the best. It could be, some people might see it as, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to my life, so bad. But every time things happen in my life, I kind of stop, I breathe. It's called the box breath technique. It's like 5 seconds. So you 5 seconds, breathe in, hold for 5 seconds, breathe out, hold for 5 seconds, breathe in again. So it's called box breathing. Actually, Lindsay, one of my speakers at the last summit that we ran, she was talking about this process. If you ever get into this anxiety, you feel fearful, this is what you want to start doing because it resets the entire central nervous system. So when you're positive, you're very optimistic. So I'm very optimistic. I always see the best in things, and it's not always a good thing. Sometimes you work with people, you see the best in them, but they could not be the best people. I want you to start thinking about different ways you can be more positive. If you're just a naturally negative person, try and see the good in things. And a good question to ask is, what did I learn from this situation? Okay, this happened to my life, but what happened in this situation? How could I have done better? What factors can I do right now that can basically not make this happen again? Number 6 is start developing interest. Like, what are you interested in? I'm interested in so many things. I'm interested in TV, film, performances. I'm interested in the Web3, in the whole digital space, artificial intelligence, real estate investing, stock trading. I'm interested in longevity and biohacking. And so it's interesting because I had a test done by Dr. Shimoni in HealthSpan, and they measured my brain age. Every part of my body was kind of where my age is, but my brain age was the age of 20 years old. Why? Because I have all these different interests. Every time I'm trying to learn new things, that you want to expand your level of thinking. You know, the more that you learn, the more that you earn. What I realized, when I learn something in one factor, I can pull that into what we call a success process. What works in one industry could also work in another industry as well. So start developing interest. And why does it mean you're more attractive? Because when you speak to people, when you're hanging around them, and you can just articulate and talk about things, you go, like people say, John, you know so much. It's because I'm interested in a lot of things. In fact, that's one thing. So I'm meeting my billionaire friend here, and one of the things that just surprises me with him is when I talk to him, it's like he thinks he doesn't know anything, but he knows a lot. And that's one thing I've noticed with a lot of billionaires, is they tend to be very curious. So when you're developing interest, it makes you more attractive because you have more to talk about, a lot more educated, not academically, but in what's happening. 7 is mindful communication. There's a saying that was taught to me by a good friend of mine. He says, it's better to be interested than interesting. When you're interested, you learn. When you're interesting, you don't learn. So actually, when I go out to a lot of parties, I'm quite an introvert sometimes, because I just sit there and I listen. I want to absorb. I want to learn. I want to hear what people have to say. I want to ask good questions. This also works in relationships. If you're in a relationship right now and your relationship is not great, you have to have a mindful communication. That makes you more attractive. Why? Because you're willing to have the hard conversations. You're willing to sit down and you're willing to say, hey, look, things are not working. How can we make this better? You're the person that actually calls out. You're the person that talks about the elephant in the room. When you're able to have these conversations, you become more attractive. Why? Because you have more courage and you're willing to just talk about the things that people don't want to talk about. If you're in a business relationship, if you're in a personal relationship, if you're with friends and someone said something, call them out. Hey bro, you said that. I didn't feel quite comfortable. I just wanted to know. Oh my God, I didn't realize I said that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Call them out. That's where confidence comes in. And you know why most people don't do that? Because they're scared of what other people are going to think about them. They're scared about, if I say that, the person will think about me. No, you need to think about what's good for you, because if those people are willing to connect with your energy, then unfortunately that relationship can't continue. Number 8, kindness and empathy. You know, this is one of the biggest things, like just kindness, just doing things that can empower other people with nothing in return. Here's the great thing about this. When you're able to do these acts of kindness, and you want to do it when people are not looking. Do you know when you give money as well? Like charity, if you do any like tithing and you do a lot of philanthropy work, one thing that's so much better than making money is actually giving it, making a difference with it. But you also want to create these acts of kindness for you. So just try and do one a day, and a random act of kindness. I remember seeing something on social media where there's this guy in this wheelchair, he's trying to cross the road, and all these cars not letting him pass. The guy walks out and just stops all the cars and he can go. I remember I was at an airport and there was this lady in a wheelchair, and she's got 3 suitcases, so she's pushing the suitcases and then she's wheeling and then she's pushing it again. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Why is no one helping her? And of course, at the time I was traveling with family, so I had about 7 suitcases. So I'm like, you know what? Basically took our suitcases off, put her suitcases on, and said, let me wheel it for you. So we wheeled it out. Little things like that. Do you know how much it just makes you feel this kindness and empathy for people? And there's a lot of shit that's happening in the world right now that you can't even begin to imagine. But I just want you to start paying close attention to the things that are around you. And sometimes we can't always be kind and generous and empathy, because sometimes we have bad days. Sometimes I snap. But you want to balance it out, the yin yang, right? Number 9, personal development. This one, I can tell you, if you do this, you automatically become more attractive. Why? Because your frequency grows, your consciousness grows. What do I mean by this? When we feel ashamed, when we feel sadness, when we feel unhappiness, that's a frequency. When we feel inspired, when we feel happy, when we feel like we want to do something, that's a different frequency. When you have personal development, it automatically tunes your frequency. How many of you have been through a tunnel, you're listening to a radio, the radio's kind of like muffled and you have to tune it, then you can hear the song properly. Well, that's a frequency, right? So the frequency of how you tune yourself is in the personal development. The 4 areas I work in my life. Number 1 is, of course, my financials. Number 2 is my relationships. Number 3 is my health. And number 4 is my personal, professional, and spirituality of development. So that's why I'm into a lot of the frequencies. That's why I'm into a lot of how the universe communicates, angel numbers, that type of stuff. And I don't talk about this stuff much on the YouTube channel, but it's actually a lot of stuff that I look into. When you start doing a lot of personal development, your spirit grows, your soul grows, you become a bigger version of you. In fact, in every single one of you, there's a bigger version inside of you. For me, I always want to unlock that potential in people. I want to unlock that millionaire inside of you. I want to unlock that lover inside of you, that there's all these things that we can do in our life that we can just click the switch and it just changes. And the last one, this is a big one. This is a big one. I couldn't tell you how powerful this one thing is. It's insane. Like, you do this one thing and watch how your life changes. By the way, before I tell you this, if you love this, share this with somebody who's looking to become a better version of themselves. If you know someone who's down, who's depressed, who has anxiety, who actually is going through life just plodding along, and you know they have a lot more potential, do me a favor, share this video with them, because I want them to listen to this message. Also, if you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll personally come and answer these questions as well. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this. It will just really help the channel so we can help more people go through a lot of these challenges. Number 10 is just smile. I guess I'm naturally a smiley person. So if you've ever met me in person, I'm always like, why is he always smiling, right? It's because I feel so much gratitude for my life right now. Right now, I'm here in Toronto. It's 8 o'clock. There's no one here in this restaurant. And I get to film this video for you, waiting to eat my healthy-ish breakfast, drinking my coffee. I get to film this video for you so it will empower a lot of people around the world. I don't care if 1 million people watch this or no one watches this, but I know if the one person that watches this, and if you watch this and it has made an impact to your life, then my job is done. Because what happens is you start to create a ripple effect. You start to pay it forward. And I'm still learning, by the way. I've had 20 years of this in business and entrepreneurship and self-development, but I'm still learning. I feel I'm only just beginning. I want you to just walk around and just smile. Okay, I want you to try this out. All right, next time you're on the tube in London or you're walking around, just smile at somebody. You'll be surprised at how many people smile back at you. And it's not like a flirtatious smile, just smile at people. Make that connection. I just never know. People unhappy, smile at them. Say good morning, hello, good afternoon. Be polite. You never know what people are going through. A lot of people could be going through a lot of challenges in their life and you just never know. A lot of people go through a lot of hardships. But if you're that one person that just brightens up their day, just with a simple smile, imagine how long that will go. And that person will then smile at somebody else. Their life changes, they feel happy, they go home to their friends and family. It's infectious. It's interesting because a friend of mine said to me, he said, John, do you know when there's a boxing match on in a city? He said all the crime rates and violence goes up in that city. Why? Well, because boxing, right? And it's interesting because it's almost like this collective consciousness that we're trying to create, and this peacefulness, this gratitude, be able to become the best version of us. And that's one of the reasons why I created John Lee Success Channel, is because success is not just about making $1 million. Success is becoming the best version of you. Success is about having the best relationships that you can, that's fit for your current situation. It's about having your optimal health, that you can have mobility. I mean, recently my piriformis muscle just like seized up and I couldn't move it. I couldn't even bend my leg. I was like, you know how much gratitude I have that you have full mobility. You can get up and actually get out of bed without aching. We've got to start practicing gratitude, guys, seriously. Like, it's important. Anyway, I'm gonna link a video at the end here because I think it'll really help you gain momentum in the financial aspects. A lot of people always ask me, John, how do I make more money? So I'll link a video here, go and check it out.